So I watched Holden's speech, and Holden's a very good public speaker, and he had a really good speech, and there were a lot of things that I took from it in watching him, and he should be really proud of his speech. But the thing I found that he did best verbally in his speech was how loud and clear he was. Now, I can find, or I've noticed in my life personally, that being loud and clear while you're making a public presentation can be hard because you have so many other things going on in your head, and it makes it hard to focus on specifically being loud and clear and articulating. And that's something I feel like he did really good in his speech, and that's something I can definitely take away from it. And non-verbally, I feel like he had three main things. Well, his body language was phenomenal, and that kind of separates into three different parts, which would be his hand motions while he was speaking, his eye contact, and the way that he moved around while he spoke. Now, his hand motions, I felt like you could tell that he's practiced it before because he knew where to put his hands when to move them, when not to move them, and he did really good with that. And with his eyes, he never lost eye contact. He was focused on his crowd, or in that case, the camera, the entire time that he was speaking. And his eyes never drifted away or looked at the ground, anything of that nature. And then he didn't move around unnecessarily. That's something else I feel like I do a lot, is I'll do some unnecessary side steps or walk around unnecessarily. But he really did a good job of walking sideways when it kind of went with the speech, or walking forwards or backwards when it went with the speech, or just anything of that nature. He did a really good job of doing those at the right time. Now, if I were to criticize one part of his speech, now obviously it goes without saying that his whole speech was great, but I'd say he said and too many times, because there were many parts, which, I mean, it was an impromptu speech, so he's kind of doing it on the fly, and you don't really get to practice it that much in 15 minutes. And I feel like with the more practice you have, the less that happens. But nevertheless, there were a lot of uhs and ums in there, which makes you sound less like you know what you're talking about during your speech, and it just doesn't fit in with the rest of your speech.